Alright, someone suggested a waifu that you probably haven't heard about, and it's honestly a little bit weird and scary. It's called the Werebat. What the hell was that, Knight? Are people dying? Is the world ending? Did someone take a bite out of the cake in the fridge? That last one is an emergency voice. It is to me, goddammit. It was just a white lady screaming. Oh. Was she hot? Hot enough. Alright, before we get started, I gotta make one thing very clear. Werebats are not vampires. What? Well, damn, Knight, just broke out their hearts, why don't you? Also, Rouge the Bat is not a werebat. She's a furry! Hey, yo. All Sonic characters are furries. Hey, I'm tired of hiding it! Blasphemy! Ain't no blasphemy except the truth. We'd rather die than accept the obvious truth. Well then, I hope your grave of lies is comfortable. Hey, Cats in Black, put in work. We can't let this truth get out. Hey, what you all doing? No! Werebats are a type of shape-shifting creature found in folklore and modern fantasy, most prominently in Mesoamerican myths. They are also typically seen as humans who can transform into monstrous, bat-like hybrids. This is a lot like the werewolf. Now, from what I read, the werewolf is called a lycanthrope, and that's just someone with the ability to shapeshift between human and wolf forms. And I've also seen this term used for the werebats, but I've also seen the term used called the thyrranthrope, which is honestly a broader, more accurate term for any person who can shapeshift into an animal. Now, unlike werewolves, there is no single, well-documented set of traits for werebats. The details for this creature significantly depend on the source that it's coming from, which is a pro in my book, because you can basically let your imagination run wild with this one, at least a little bit. For instance, some werebats in fiction may look like this. Others may look like this.
Oh my goodness!
Everyone can't be a 10. Now also, I have to bring this up again. Werebats are not vampires. Now what's the difference? It's simple. Werebats are a creature that transforms into a bat-like form, and a traditional vampire can just transform into a bat as a supernatural ability. Also, a vampire is undead, whereas the werebat is not. So voice, step away from the Sarah's Victoria Funko Pop. Her name is the Booba Vampire, and what else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, never! Now again, the folklore of werebats is basically inspired by Mesoamerican mythology, mostly with a Mayan god called Kamazats. This deity is also called the Death Bat, and he specifically is the deity of death, night, and sacrifice. Yeah, Kamazats is not a good guy. I read in his lore that he was described as an anthropomorphic bat who cut off the heads of the people who were traveling through the underworld, which honestly, for some reason, reminded me of Jeepers Creepers. Now, Kamazats, the bat god, did seem to inspire the idea of werebats, but this folklore is not really where werebats came from. The very idea for the werebat seems to come from more modern interpretations. For example, role-playing games like D&D have werebats, and also information from the wiki Demonic Paradise talks about werebats. Other than that though, there is one more place that werebats seem to get their inspiration from, and that's vampires. Obviously, vampires can turn into bats, and depending on the source, vampires can be controlling the werebats, or more or less they can be enemies. And sometimes they're seen as enemies because they're after the same food source, that being blood. And yes, it is a con, werebats do drink blood. In fact, in the Demonic Paradise version of the werebats, they're dependent on blood and food. They need to attain a large amount during the night to replenish themselves when they're in human form during the day. Also, the Demonic Paradise wiki version of the werebats adds to the Mayan folklore of Kamazats. Now, in this site's version of the folklore, Kamazats has werebats as emissaries. And emissaries are just messengers, envoys, or representatives who are sent to act on behalf of the divine to convey messages, represent the god's will, or to perform specific missions. And also, according to this wiki, these werebats are made by the result of humans who were sacrificed to Kamazats, and after their sacrifice, their spirits were transferred into Kamazats' domain. And the second way that was made was by being cursed by Kamazat himself. Now, upon transforming, these werebats apparently hunt livestock or even humans, completely draining them of blood or even in some cases, devouring them. So yeah, they apparently immediately get to work. So that's a con, but a pro is that they do have a human form, at least during the daytime. They also aren't apparently burnt by the sun like vampires, and their overall moral alignment can vary. Some are seen as omens of death and evil, while others in the Demonic Paradise wiki only want to be left alone, but they can't fight their basic instinct for blood. They simply have to embrace the suck. Oh yeah, y'all feeling some freak vibes? Cause I'm feeling some freak vibes. Now, I could go on talking about this wiki's version, but their powers are kind of standard. And what I mean by that is, their powers are kind of like what you expect the bat monster's powers to be. An acute sense of hearing, heightened strength, speed. Oh, and I guess I should mention, they do kill vampires in this universe. Like, the vampires and the werebats in this universe do not like each other at all. The werebats in this universe apparently see the vampires as inferior. So let me get to the point. Could you smash a werebat in the Demonic Paradise wiki universe? I would say a big no. Mostly because, even in their human forms, they still have a taste for blood. But then again, the waifu in question could simply decide to eat something other than you, and we could be dessert. Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Human for dinner, and for dessert, some chocolate putty cat. Great, you just made it weird. Oh, and just
one more thing.
I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Werebats in this universe transform usually in the dead of night. They're usually social by day and savage by night. So maybe, just maybe when it's daytime, the werebat can be managed. But nighttime, I'm gonna lock her in a room or something. Why night? I can fix her. I got plenty of things she can suck. Boy, if you don't stop! Alright, the next version of the werebat we have to talk about is the Dungeons and Dragons version. This version is apparently around 6 feet tall, and in this world there are 2 varieties of the werebat. The true werebat and the infected werebat. Now true werebats are creatures that were born to werebat parents. Now the parents themselves may either be true werebats or infected werebats. Either way, in this universe, the offspring of any 2 werebats is a true werebat. There are also rare cases in this universe when a child is born with one werebat parent and the other parent is a human. Ugh, say less. In this case, there's a 50% chance that the child will be a true werebat and a 25% chance they will be an infected werebat. Now, a true werebat in this universe also has 3 forms, that being 1 human form, 1 bat form, and 1 hybrid form, which is a definite pro. Also, the true werebat in this universe has full control over their shape-changing abilities, except during the full moon, of course, and they keep their memories across all forms. Now, the infected werebat in this universe is a bit different, because they're made by a bite from another werebat, and they often only have 2 forms, the human and hybrid, or the human and the bat form. They also lack conscious control over their transformations, and they may lose their memories of their monstrous rampages. However, they can apparently be cured though, so that one's a pro, but the true bat definitely seems to be safer, and they apparently don't mind the occasional human. Now, one con that I found for the true werebat is their young, or in other words their children, remain in true bat form until they reach the age of 3, and this seems to mean they can remain looking like a human until this age. But when they reach the age of 3, at that time they will mature into adults within a single year, becoming fully grown. So true bats apparently don't age the same as humans in this universe. And just to remind you, this is the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Also, I have to mention, during this time period, the year-long transformation seems to bring out a great hunger in the werebat, and this hunger forces it to spend most of its time hunting and feeding. And human villages near the werebat's cave will certainly lose many citizens to the feasting of the ravenous creature at this time. So when they fully mature, will probably not be the best time to try to, smash, unless you're strong enough. Now, another pro is, these werebats don't kill humans because they're evil. They do see humans and demi-humans as prey, and they even see humans and demi-humans as animals to be devoured, but they're not cruel or evil in their attacks. They simply regard such beings as having a lower place in the food chain, but apparently an equal place in the bedroom. Shit, that's all I need to hear. Voice, come back here, the video isn't over. It is for me, I made my choice. May the bat waifu come and suck it a long time. Now the next type of werebat we're going to talk about for this video is from the Monster Girl Encyclopedia. And just like that, I've returned. Hey! Hush up, Knight, let me handle this. Well, don't take all day. Oh, trust me, all I need is 5 minutes tops. Giggity. 5 minutes? Yes, 5 minutes. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. This ain't the hub, and I am a cat. You're really not, though. Anyways, the werebat in the Monster Girl Encyclopedia is simply a freak. Shit nasty. In this universe, they're known as beastmen with bat-like features that live in caves and other dark places, and they hang upside down from the ceiling in places with very limited visibility, and patiently wait for travelers to pass by. And when travelers pass by, ooh boy, they be like,
I like you,
oh Lord,
and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
What you want, Tom?
What's it gonna be?
And I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. Getting booty for this type of werebat is more important than drinking blood, more important than breathing. And they don't ask for consent, oh no. As soon as she sees a human man who strikes her fancy, she going for that butt, right out of the darkness, like Batman. Except it's just Diddy disguised as Batman, otherwise known as the Diddy Bat. And they're sadistic by nature, at least in the dark. So if you respond to this by resisting or pleading for her to stop, she's not only not going to stop, but she's going to escalate. And the escalation usually does involve violence. And the whole time she's going to be smiling at the Joker. You are hers now, whether you want to be or not. Now again, I must say, this will happen in complete darkness, which is a con because you won't see it coming and you won't see her at all. Plus, and this is the worst con, when multiple individuals are occupying the same space, their loud moaning and gasping will highly arouse the others, causing them all to swarm the man. In other words, these werebats come in packs, and they feisty. Now this type of werebat does simmer down when the sun's out, and the book actually says when the sun's out, she becomes submissive. So, pro. And I don't even think this type of werebat drinks blood. Instead, they drink, giggity. So with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments. And there are other bat waifus we could talk about, but I'll leave that for a second part. Until then, leave your opinions in the comments, and tell us which horrifying waifu we should do next for Halloween. Leave it in the comments, and you guys have a great day. Bye!